Just seeing them grow from the start, confidence growing and their techniques improving, would never ever take them somewhere else because he is just perfect.
I have 2 girls at AFAC and we've been coming since it started at the beginning of 2019. They feel safe and I think they feel encouraged as well.
I like my teachers and they always encourage me when I need encouraging and they make it really fun for me and the rest of my class. I feel very proud and happy and excited to meet my new teacher.
Noah finds motor planning and things like that difficult. He tends to get that same teacher, so they definitely know what works for Noah, what to kind of keep going with, how we can kind of achieve the next thing. So it's really quite consistent and valuable.
It's really good, nice quality time spent with the grandies, and it's a great centre for families as well. She may have got a lot older, but never miss out on the green jelly after the swimming lesson, so that's always a given.
I wouldn't be driving 25 minutes past 2 swim schools to come if I didn't enjoy it.
The kids just enjoy it too much here and love all the teachers, so why move them somewhere else?
The Mayors and CEOs meeting, so I would like to invite the Deputy Mayor, John Keogh, up to the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, councillors. Take a seat. And good evening, everyone. I'd first like to begin by acknowledging that we are on the meeting. We're meeting tonight on the lands of the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to elders past and present, and declare the meeting open at 7:01. Thank you all for coming tonight. We have two apologies, as mentioned. First of all, the Mayor at a Walga event, and we also have an apology from Councillor Sarah Stoneham and Councillor Virk. Is an apology, it seems. So, going on to leaves of absence. Does anyone have any requests for leaves of absence at all? No? Okay. Going to public question time. It doesn't look like we have any members of the public tonight, so we'll leave that there. Moving forward, sorry, that was where applications for leaves of absence was, but there's still none of those. Excellent. Any petitions this evening? No? Okay. Confirmation of the minutes. Could I ask for someone to please move the minutes of the meeting held on 8th of September and that they are true and correct? Yep. Thank you, Councillor Sargison. Is anyone opposed? No, thank you. That's carried. Announcements by the person presiding without discussion. I don't have any, and neither does the Mayor for me to pass on, so that's quite quick and easy. And we don't have any questions by members which due notice has been given, which brings us to our reports proper. So that's to the first one, Development Services Committee meeting. Is the Chair prepared to move receipt of the minutes of the Development Services meeting?
So moved, subject to any corrections, of which I have none.
Thank you very much. Is anyone opposed? No, thank you. That's fine. So that moves into our formal meeting of Development Services Committee with our first item 1.1, simplified trading permits for events and markets, with the recommendation coming on page 14. Then going on to item 2.2, Metropolitan Region Scheme and Amendment 1437.
Chair, do we need to, that's an absolute majority, do we need to...
Oh, yes.
And vote on that?
Thank you very much, Councillor Busby. Yes, you're absolutely right. Can I have someone please to move that particular item? Thank you, Councillor Willinga. Is anyone opposed? No, thank you very much. That's carried. An absolute majority is achieved. Thank you once again, Councillor Busby. Moving on, 2.2, Metropolitan Region Scheme Amendment on page 16, with the recommendation a few pages in on page 29 to 30. No, that's fine. We have item 3.1, Kids Indoor Sports Centre Advocacy Referral item, with the recommendation again on page 31. And that's fine. Then we move to 2.1. Now, this is a confidential item. Is the councillors happy that we leave that till the end of the meeting when we can move behind closed doors? So, yep. Okay, excellent. Thank you. We'll do that then. Then we have... we'll get to that later on. Okay, so that moves... so is Chair happy to accept those particular recommendations and have any concerns?
No, happy to move those, except those that we'll deal with later. Thanks.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Willinga, anyone opposed? No, thank you. That's carried. All right, that brings that item or section done with. We move over to then our next particular committee. And is the Chair happy to move the minutes of our Corporate Services Committee?
Yes, please. Yes, I would like to move the minutes of the Corporate Services Committee meeting held on Tuesday, 16th of September, subject to any corrections, of which I have none.
Thank you very much, Chair. Is anyone opposed? Thank you very much. That's carried. Moving along with 1.1 on page 40, list of accounts paid, with the recommendation starting on page 42. We then have items 1.2, Statement of Financial Activity, July 2025 on page 43, with the recommendation on page 48. Yes, thank you.
We do need to make a slight alteration to that recommendation. I don't know if, Jason, have we got something on the screen? Yep. As we've now just adopted the recommendation of development services, it means that those two fees that you can see there highlighted are now no longer applicable and need to be sort of struck out before we approve this recommendation. So do we need a it will still be the amended fees and charges set out below, won't it? So.
Yeah, councillors, there is a revised recommendation that has removed those two fees and charges from the list of fees and charges in the recommendation.
But is the actual wording of the recommendation that we see on page 48 different as well?
No, you've actually moved an alternate motion with the updated table in it. So, yep. So supply the clean version of that with the fees removed.
So the yellow highlight is removed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we still get the intent. I think hopefully people are comfortable. I'm happy to move it with knowing that will be removed. The highlighted will be removed. It was what we're approving, if you guys are comfortable with that.
Thank you, Councillor Mosey. Yep, that looks to be pretty clear, hopefully. So that is a alternate recommendation starting on page 48, going on to page 50. Is anyone opposed to that alternate recommendation? No, thank you, that's carried, and that also clears us of having an absolute majority resolution required for that one. Thank you, Councillor Mosey. 2.1, Strategic Community Plan Review 2025 on page 51, with the recommendation being on page 58. And again, we need an absolute majority for this. Yes, Councillor Mosey?
Yeah, could I please move that resolution, or recommendation, sorry, shown on page 58 as is.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mosey has moved that particular recommendation. Is anyone opposed? Thank you, that's carried. Moving forward, 3.1, Business Hours 2025 to 26, End of Year Holiday Period, with the recommendation appearing on page 63. Anyone opposed for that? No, thank you, that's carried. Okay, so that brings us to, we'll jump to the Chief Executive Officer's report. Could I ask that someone move receipt of the CEO's report dated 22nd of September? Oh, sorry, I need to go, yeah. Go back to the,
yes.
Yeah. Sorry, before we go back to that, sorry, Chair, if I could just ask you to please move those other motions that have not been dealt with, please.
So moved, thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Is anyone opposed to that? Thank you, Chair. That is carried. Or Councillor Mosey, that's carried. So yes, now we will go to the Chief Executive Officer's report. Could I please ask that someone move receipt of the CEO's report? Thank you, Councillor Peter. Is anyone opposed to that? No, thank you for that. Okay, so then we will jump to, sorry, let me just check with the acting CEO.
Matters for referral.
That's what I thought. Thank you. So we'll go back to the front of our agenda. So there's no motions of which previous notice has been given. Urgent business approved by the person presiding. I don't have anything either. Matters for referral to standing committees without any discussion. Any referral items? Councillor Mosey.
Yeah, I have two, please. The first one is in regards to election signage, I think probably to SOHAG. And the second one is Councillor Code of Conduct to SOHAG, please.
Thank you, Councillor Mosey. Any other matters for referral? No? Okay, so that brings us to the item 14 of our agenda, matters requiring confidential consideration. For this, as previously discussed, we'll need to move behind closed doors. Can I ask someone please move that we... Thank you, Councillor Busby. We'll be moving behind closed doors. We'll just take a moment to make sure that we go offline streaming. Okay, so that brings us to closure then, and I declare the meeting closed at 7:33 p.m. Thank you, everyone.